Thank you for trusting us with your questions. We have been receiving a lot of letters from you. If you have your own questions, please feel free to send us a private message. And here's our question for today. Dear Kuya Caloy, I am 60 years old now, 36 years married to a good man, who at 20 years of marriage, I discovered to be a homosexual. I stayed on to protect my 2 sons. At 63, he is still denying it, but I saw the texts on his phone from other men. Kadiri po talaga. He gives in to my sons' whims to win their love and sympathy, making my eldest irresponsible. They don't know anything of his ways. I have been very angry for so long, and God is my only listener. I thought I was already okay, but I am still deeply angered. I am afraid for my son's identity crisis if they learn of this because they idolize him. I am so devastated. What should I do? Kapatid, hindi ko kayang ma-imagine ang sakit na naramdaman mo. I cannot imagine how terrible your situation must be. I cannot presume to understand the impulses and motives of your husband. We don't know how far your husband has gone in terms of his relationships with other men. And I'm sure you don't even want to know. What is certain is that your husband had been or has been and is still unfaithful to you, at the very least in his heart. I imagine that he goes on with his intimate relationships through text messages, as you yourself discovered. And for as long as your husband is harboring a sin and is not dealing with it, that sin will impact on your life as a family. A piece of the puzzle is not in the right place, and all the other pieces are misaligned. I can sense that even though you are hurting, you still love your husband. I suggest that you ask the Lord for help so that you can still do something to bring your family back on the right path. If you have a Bible, you can turn to the letter of James in the New Testament. You can read this passage. Let him know that whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. Find a way, through prayers and with God's help, to gently rebuke your husband about his erring ways. Tell him how his behavior is negatively affecting your eldest son. If he truly loves his children, he would want them to be responsible adults. He shouldn't bribe his children to gain sympathy. He should focus on being a faithful husband and a loving father to his children. Maybe you could even suggest that you go to a professional counselor together. As you seek to restore your family to God's will, by the grace and mercy of God, may you always keep in mind, faith matters too.